Hello everyone. So this class is for coding. Actually, the coding I'm talking about is based on web development. So, and it's for keys in JSS1 down to SS3. So for those that are not the computer are not very accessible to, and they are not used to computer studies. So I made it very simple that I started from computer or knowledge of computer. So before I will start from the knowledge of computer before I move to coding. So, and I made it very simple so that everyone can follow it. And what you are going to need is your phone, an Android phone or a smartphone, basically, or a computer. So you are going to need that. But lessons, for the few first lessons, you can actually you may not need any gadget, but it will be okay for you to see how you can get a gadget and be able to code along. So, and it's this, as I've said, the this class is for anyone in from JS1 down to SS3. So it's basics of web development. At the end of at the end of every class, there are questions that will help you assess the knowledge of what you have learned in each class. And by the end of all the classes, you should be able to develop a website yourself, maybe a portfolio. You have a milestone project that you are going to do, so that will actually bolden you that you can be able to uh, do some web development. So without further ado, so here comes the big question. So what computer have you used today? Yes, what computer have you used today? Tell me, have you used any computer today? So most of you might have used a computer, and most of you might have not. Your answer is either yes or no. And if your answer is no, that means it's 0. And if your answer is yes, that means it might just be 1. You might have a personal computer, or you might have used your parents' computer, which is just one gadget. But let me ask you a question. Have you seen somebody use a phone today? Has your parents used a phone, or your older ones have used computer, or they have used a tablet, or maybe your grandparents, maybe they might have used a radio that has a big knob and some big buttons on them. Or maybe on the street, you might have seen someone used an ATM machine in a bank, or maybe you might have seen a POS operator using a POS on the street. Okay, let me surprise you. All these gadgets or all these machines, they are computer. But why are they computer? That is what you are thinking. What does a computer really mean? Before we can identify if a gadget or a machine is a computer, we have to know what a computer is and what a computer really means. So let's ask ourselves, what does a computer really mean? A computer is an electronic device or a machine that accepts data or information, processes it, and also stores it if needed, and gives it back to us as a result. I know what's going through your mind now. We have some big words there, and also you may be having some comprehension problems. So let's solve it. Let's take it step by step. Accept information means machine can receive something we give it. So, for example now, a simple word for it is input. That is, in computer terms, we say input. That is, For example, you have an object you want to put into a container. So if you hold the object and you put it inside that container, that means you impute that object into the container. So in computer terms, we call it imputing data. So we impute data. So anything you feed a computer, maybe is a number, a word, maybe you touch the screen of your computer, if it's a screen touch, or you touch the screen of your phone or your tablet. So you have entered an input into the computer. Processing it, that we said, that it means that the machine is thinking or working on that particular input that you have imputed into it. So remember when your parent sent you on an errand, and whenever you are doing it and you are not fast enough, your parents will call you that, are you done with it? So what do you say in return? You say, I'm still on it. So that means you are still working on that particular thing that you are supposed to, that you are being told to do. And this is the thinking part of a computer. So computer does not think like human. Actually, it follows a strict rules, and it follows pattern to solve or to process data. And after the computer finish processing data, it stores data either temporarily or permanently. So the wait for this, or in computer language we call this storage or memory. And the final part of it is when the computer gives us a result. The result is called output in computer language. So the final result from when we input a data, when it's being processed, when it's being stored, and the final result is the output, which the computer will actually bring out for us to see. And I'm going to make an example of this and be able to and explain to you so that you can be able to understand all what we have been talking about. Now, let's take for example a kitchen blender. Especially you'll have seen your mom make use of a kitchen blender. She pours in pepper, and on the blender the fan starts rolling and starts cutting the pepper down little by little into small pieces. And when it reaches the texture your mother wants, she will off the blender and pour the pepper out of the blender. Let's go back to computing. So the blender we make example of, the pepper that is being poured into the blender is just like you are making an input into the computer. Maybe you press a key on the keyboard, or you touch your screen, which maybe is a phone, a tablet. You touch the screen of a phone or a tablet, which will enter data into the device. Or if it's your computer or laptop, maybe you press a key or two on the keyboard. So those key or the screen you touch actually enters data into the device. So, and whenever this input or the pepper is inside the blender, then the machine will be on, then the blade will start processing the pepper. So your phone will process it. It will know that is a picture, to start processing it, and when it processes it, it will store it, and when it finish storing it, it will bring it into your screen as a picture that you are going to see. So when you that same thing goes from to the pepper that you are blending. Whenever you blend the pepper, it gets processed by the blade, and when the texture is okay, then the user of that machine will pour it out, and that is the result the person wants. And after the processing has gone on, the computer stores data. So in your machine, which is the blender, So the blender now has a glass container. That glass container, if it's not there and you have the pepper put on that blade, what would happen? The blade will spin and the pepper will just fling away. The peppers you put will just fling away. If you do not want that, you have to save it. That means you need a storage, which is the glass which is the blender glass cup that the fan is inside, that the fan is being built into. So that is why a computer stores data for it to be able to process the data you entered efficiently, or to be able to process the data you entered very well. So after the data is being processed and being saved, then that is when it will bring it out as an information, like the picture you snapped on your phone, like the letters you pressed on the keyboard. It will enter the system unit and it will be processed before you see the letter on the monitor, which is the output. And whenever you press 2 plus 2 on your keyboard, it will come out as 4. The calculation was being done in the system unit. That is where the is being processed. It will be saved. After it's been saved, then you are going to see your answer, which is 4 on the monitor. So which is the result or the output. And if you have been following from the beginning, you remember that I promised you that all the machines that we mentioned very early in this class, that they are computer, and I will tell you why they are computer. Machines like your calculator, your POS machine, your radio, your phone, and some other machines that we have mentioned earlier, that they are examples of computer. So now let's go into it. We defined a computer earlier, that is a device that accepts input or that accepts data, process data, and also save data and bring it out as a meaningful information, so which is an output. When it accepts data, is an input. When it processes data, it's making use of the processing unit. And when it stores data, is making use of the storage. And when it brings out a meaningful information or a result, that means it's bringing out an output. Let's take our calculator for example. Say you want to make a simple addition of 3 and 2. So what do you first do? You enter a number 3. When you enter a number 3, so that means it takes an input of 3 and you press your plus. It takes an input of plus. That means you want to make an addition, and you press 2, and that means you want to add 3 and 2 together. So those numbers that you press, those instructions that you entered into the system, is serving as an input. And when the data you entered is being processed, the additions or the addition is taking place inside the processing unit of your phone. That means your phone is processing it. And when you have your result as 5, that means the computer has processed it, saved it, and bring it out, that a human could see, that you could see on your phone, that this is the output, which is your answer, which is 5. We have other devices also that you might not know that they are computer, but they are computer as far as they take input, they can process data, and they can store data, and they can bring out an output, such as the POS machine or your ATM machine. Let's take the POS machine for example. You slot in your card and you press your pin. So slotting in your card is an input, pressing the pin is an input, and afterwards the machine will process it, just like the ATM. The two are the same, almost the same process, or the same process. So you enter the card, you press your pin, which you are still entering your input. Then the machine will process the data, know that is your card, know how much you have in your account, know how much you are asking it to what to withdraw. So when it does that, it will make its calculation and its deduction, and afterwards it will send the info it will send the deduction to the POS operator's account, which the operator will now give you your money. So that means the POS machine or the ATM machine has accepted data, processed data, and give you the information you want, which is the hard copy of your money, so that was inside your account before. And you did be surprised that a radio is an example of computer. So when you have a digital radio that you turn on and off, even though it's not digital, analog too count as an example of a simple computer. So when you turn on your radio and you start, maybe you entered a particular radio station, maybe 95 dot something or something like that. You enter frequency the frequency number. So it starts scanning and searching for the radio station. So what you do when it comes to analog, when the radio is not digital, you start turning the knob, which is, I don't know if you would know a knob. So a knob is that round button that you turn forward and backwards. When you watch your grandparents that are using radio, you'll be able to know that. So when you turn it forth and back, you are trying to input data. And if it's a digital radio, you just press or just press the number number of the station you want. So whenever you are scanning, trying to turn the knob for back and forth, or maybe you enter the number and the radio starts scanning for that particular station, that means the radio is processing data. You enter the number as an input, or you start turning the knob as an input, and it starts scanning for the station as processing. And whenever it's scanned, when it gets to the station, the digital radio will actually save that data, that this is where the station is, and the analog too will know that, okay, this is where the station is. And after processing, it brings it out as an output by playing that radio station for you, which you can listen to. So since it has gone through the input and out the input and processing and output, most especially these three, then that is, it's telling you that it's a form of a simple computer. And also, if computer can save, then that means it's a complete computer. When it goes through input, processing, storage, and output, that is a complete computer or a digital computer.